Okay, welcome everyone to our presentation today from Oakland University. The title of our presentation today is Practical Approaches Used to Promote and Advance Anti-Racism Learning in a Higher Education Setting. I'm going to start the presentation off today with a quote um, that I've used in other presentations, and I think it's fitting for this one. And it states, anti-racists are known for the anti-racism work they engage in, and not for just having the title as an anti-racist. I think this is important because we need to be known for the work that we do, not just for our title.
And so before we begin, we're going to share a definition of key terms just to kind of ground our work. And, a lot of folks have done work in this area. The definitions we chose are all from Kendi's work in 2019. So, in terms of race, he says that it's a social construct used to categorize and differentiate people based on physical characteristics. And that idea of a social construct is really important because essentially it's one of those things that doesn't have to matter until we make it matter. With racism, it's essentially not just one thing, but rather a powerful collection of policies that lead to racial inequality and injustice, and that's substantiated by the ideas of racial hierarchy. So, moving from racism to somebody that we would call a racist, that's an individual who's expressing an idea of racial hierarchy or through actions or inactions and is supporting a policy that leads to racial inequity or injustice. So, anti-racism, which is work that we advocate for and engage in, is a powerful collection of policies and practices that lead to racial equity and justice and that are substantiated by ideas of racial equality. So, the key there is that it's active work. So, then an anti-racist is an individual who is expressing an idea of racial equality or is actively supporting a policy that leads to racial equity or justice.
So for our presentation and in tying it to mental models of social issues around the issues of race, racism, and anti-racism, we specifically focus on Senge's research on systems thinking, and specifically the mental model that highlights the interconnectedness of societal issues. So this could be applied to racism, as racism is a societal issue and a systemic problem. The research that exists on mental models of racism is typically viewed through frameworks which individual people use to understand and interpret these social dynamics that are related to race and other biases. And the mental models shape these same individuals' perceptions, their attitudes, and their behaviors toward racial and ethnic groups. So that could be tied up in particular things like systemic racism, stereotyping or prejudice, implicit biases, the ever-present topic of colorblindness, and as well as dynamics such as in-group and out-group. So all of these examples of mental models of racism are influenced by social, cultural, and historical contexts and exist within systemic, institutional, and individual levels and interactions. And so our presentation today is specifically aligned with the conference theme and Senge's mental models of discipline in the following ways. First of all, we'll very soon share examples of how we as anti-racist educators are shifting harmful, lingering, and ingrained mental models of racism in order to support innovation in anti-racist teaching, learning, scholarship, and community engagement. And we'll also show how we are going about promoting new ways of knowing, understanding, and being. And our purpose of promoting those new ways is to foster a culture of continuous and over time anti-racist teaching and learning, both at our institution of Oakland University, as well as in our local community.
Thank you, Greg. Now we want to introduce ourselves briefly as the IER task force members. And so my name is Dr. Chaunda Scott. I'm a professor of human resource development here at Oakland University. I'm also the coordinator of the Graduate Diversity, Inclusion, and Social Justice Certificate Program.
And my name is Dr. Danielle Lagaki. I'm the department chair and associate professor of educational foundations in the Department of Teaching and Learning.
And I'm Dr. Greg Bartley. I'm an assistant professor of social foundations of education, also in the Department of Teaching and Learning. Dr. Robert Martin is the fourth member of our initiative to eradicate racism task force, who unfortunately was not able to be here today, but has been part and parcel of all of this work.
Next, we want to introduce the Initiative for Eradicating Racism, which is a initiative the four of us started back in 2020, and we were very interested in moving education for eradication forward. And it stands as an interdisciplinary task force dedicated to educating and transforming our colleagues, our students, our community partners, and moving forward as we educate and learn more about the importance of eradicating racism. Our purpose really is to identify and highlight anti-racist practices in K through 20 education, amplify anti-racist dialogue through teaching, scholarship, and service. These examples include course assignments, panels, symposiums, journal articles, book chapters, and community programming, including presentations like this one today. We also aim to recruit and retain additional students, staff, and faculty of color at Oakland University. The role of the anti-racism initiative really stands to educate students on the historical and contemporary legacy of structural racism. We want to incorporate diverse perspectives into the curriculum to challenge dominant perspectives and to provide students with new ways of knowing and understanding the constructs of race, racism, anti-racism, and their impact on society. We also aim to prepare students to work in diverse workplaces and live in a diverse world by addressing hidden biases. We plan to equip students, faculty, and staff and community members with the tools to be anti-racist allies and promote and advance social justice in higher educations and society.
We have a few questions to frame the rest of our presentation, so you can think about these as we're moving forward and then maybe explore them on your own. And they're large questions that don't necessarily have one nice, neat answer, right? So the first one is, in what ways does racism influence how we understand the world? The second one is, in what ways does racism show up in the classroom? And that's the classroom at the higher ed level. It's also the classroom down at the pre-K-12 level. And then what kinds of practical anti-racism teaching and learning strategies can faculty use to challenge mental models of racism? So when we think about some of the practical strategies that we use and that we promote, it's important for us to make sure that they feel accessible to our colleagues, that they feel reasonable, that they're things that can be done in their classroom, because it doesn't make sense to do this work if people feel like it's out of touch. So one of the first ones, and really at its most basic level, is simply using ground rules to develop a safe classroom for discussions on the topics of race, racism, and anti-racism to occur. So for example, while you might say that, diverse viewpoints are welcome in your classroom, if somebody's actively spreading hate or misinformation, that stance is not welcome in the classroom. We encourage our faculty to diversify their teaching and learning materials, and they can do that by using a variety of contemporary and historical content on the topics of race, racism, anti-racism, and anti-racist practices. And by doing this, they advance anti-racism understanding and learning. So again, not only are their practices going to engage in anti-racist practices, but then they're modeling that for their students. We encourage faculty to use an intersectional teaching approach to emphasize how race and racism intersect with other aspects of identity, such as gender and socioeconomic status. So the work on intersectionality is obviously very vast, and so we help our faculty members gain an entry point into that so that their students can gain an entry point to those ideas. In addition to teaching, anti-racist faculty should include a focus on anti-racism in their scholarship, their service, and their community engagement efforts. So if the work we're doing stops at our classroom doors, we're not doing enough. So, in doing all of this, anti-racist faculty are modeling their commitment to anti-racist teaching and learning out loud. And that's the key here. It's not enough to try to fly under the radar or to try to do things that might be a line on your CV or that might look good. It's important to be visible in doing anti-racist work.
And so, as some examples of the practical strategies that Danielle discussed, some of the things that the Initiative to Eradicate Racism has accomplished over the last 5 years is developing courses on anti-racism, as well as courses that are currently in development. We've published articles, we've published book chapters on racism and anti-racism. We were fortunate to receive a $10,000 community engagement grant that we applied for. We've also been recipients of teaching, research, and service awards focused in the area of anti-racism, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and social justice. And like this presentation, we have presented at national, state, and local conferences. And so to get a little bit more specific, our most recent venture was a three-part co-constructed series that we created with the Pontiac Impact Collective Partnership that exists in Pontiac, Michigan. And so we called that three-part series Intergenerational Perspectives, Building on Undoing Racism, and Moving Forward with Eradicating Racism. We had, as I mentioned, three parts of the series. The first focused on a keynote speaker named Monica Emerson, who came and asked questions of the audience about different types of racism, how they understand racism, what racism means for the community of Pontiac, and what we might do to together move forward from just addressing racism toward eradicating racism. We brought a number of folks together in a virtual town hall where we had conversations around the same questions. And also we're fortunate to be able to hear from people who don't just have perspectives like we do as people who are not part and parcel of the community, but also folks who had lived through really important events within Pontiac, such as the Pontiac the Pontiac integration of schools, as well as the bus bombing. And then finally, we had a lunch and learn at Oakland University, where we brought together some keynote speakers who came to give some charges for moving forward toward eradicating racism. In December 2003, that was when we received the the Community Impact Partnership Grant with Pontiac and PCIP. In May 2022, we put on a seminar for the Oakland University Teaching and Learning Seminar. We also created the Eradicating Racism in Higher Education Symposia, which brought together Drs. Bettina Love, Gloria Ladson-Billings, bestselling author Nick Stone. We were able to bring some really important, impactful voices to campus. And then we've also done things with our local OU community, like the OU Galileo Institute partnership, as well as the OU Center for Civic Engagement partnership, where we discussed the topic, Let's Get Real About Race. This is an example of some of our presentations and publications. So our most recent article just came out this past month in the Journal of Community Engagement in Higher Education, and that is entitled Promoting Educative Racism, Dialogue, and Activism Through Community Engagement, and really traces the way that we were able to co-construct that three-part series with PCIP. We were fortunate enough to present at the OU Teaching and Learning Symposium at the Michigan Academy of Science, Arts, and Letters. We published a book chapter called Challenges and Opportunities Facing Anti-Racist Educators in Higher Education. Presented in April 2002 at the Lilly Conference. And then our first piece came out in September 2021, a call to action introducing the Initiative for Eradicating Racism in the Journal of Business Diversity. So you'll see that we have tried to engage numerous and different kinds of audiences in order to support anti-racist work across spaces and with different groups of people. So some of the goals that we have moving forward include becoming a grant-funded center for eradicating racism at Oakland University. We're hoping to continue to sponsor an annual anti-racism symposium. We would like to continue to develop partnerships with our Center for Strategic Learning, as well as other universities and organizations that support this kind of anti-racism work. We're continuing to develop a body of scholarship focused on anti-racist teaching and programming in higher education, and some of this will come out of some of those courses that we have developed and are currently developing. And then finally, to further expand our IER Advisory Council. And so moving forward, we are purposefully and intentionally seeking out more opportunities to talk about the importance of eradicating racism locally and globally. And we hope that this presentation is a useful format in order to further some of these ideas. And beyond the ideas, we would like to also develop policies and procedures in order to make these discussions productive and hopefully continue to create courses focused on anti-racism education practices, both at Oakland University and also at other institutions where we might be able to support this work. And then finally, we will continue to serve as a resource for our Oakland University administrators, faculty, staff, and students, as well as supporting community members and partnering with community organizations interested in eradicating all forms of societal racism.
Thank you. So as you can see, we have really tried to immerse ourselves in anti-racist work and, share what we learned, not only with our students and faculty members at Oakland University, but in the community as well. We're also excited that, we're able to join the literature with, a lot of scholars who have written on this work before us. So we're happy to add our voice to the literature as well and looking forward to doing more work in that area. So again, it's been our pleasure to be a part of your conference at the University of Arizona Global Campus, and we look forward to partnering with you again. If you wish to contact us, we do have our contact available, information available on the last slide. So feel free to reach out to us. We're looking forward to hearing from you and partnering with you soon. Thank you so much.